Hey, Slownrusty here. It is Thanksgiving weekend 2018. Hope everybody's well. Working on my R129 chassis SL500. This is a 1998 model that I've had actually for about 7 or 8 months now. Enjoying it and making some improvements on it this weekend. Specifically, I'm looking at braking and suspension. In broad terms, the rotors at the bottom, that is what's going on in the car. They are off the later R129 V8 and V12 cars, what's affectionately known as the Silver Arrow brake upgrade. The, the, the big rotor, the bottom left, that is the front, and they are 335 millimeters. And the rotors from the front, the two on the top, and they are 300 millimeters, so quite a larger overall rotor and big upgrade in terms of stopping performance. I went ahead and paid a little bit more and bought drilled and slotted rotors. The bottom right rotor is actually the rear, and it's actually as large as the front on the stock car, so gives you an idea of the type of brakes that's going on in the car. So you can see the rotor differences there. Moving along to the calipers. The upgraded caliper is on the right. It is actually made by Brembo, and the housings for the pistons are aluminum, where the centerpiece is cast. The factory caliper is on the left. The red caliper, which is the upgraded caliper off the Silver Arrow cars, as I call it, it's actually 2 pounds lighter because of the aluminum compared to the cast caliper. Both calipers actually 4-piston, but the upgraded caliper has larger pistons and therefore larger surface area, contact area to really improve the overall stopping and braking performance. So looking forward to seeing how the car drives with the bigger brakes. And on the rear calipers are fairly close. They're a little bit smaller, but the upgraded caliper is a little bit larger. And one thing to note is when I bought the calipers, they actually looked all like this. I took them apart, completely rebuilt them, new seals, new pistons, sanded them down, and then I painted them and with high heat caliper paint to what you see on the left. So they came out really nicely actually. And then I installed all new hardware, springs and clips, and of course new pads. So I did that over the summer, and I'm excited to finally get to the point where I can install everything. On the control arms for the suspension upgrade, this is a big part actually of the upgrade. If you don't run the 2000 to 2002 control arms off the R129, off the V8 or V12 cars, which is what you see on the right, here's a part number. The ball joint, which is right here, the lower ball joint, will actually rub on the back side of that larger rotor. You can see how this ball joint is a little bit shorter by a few millimeters compared to what came from the factory on the earlier R129 cars. And if you run the factory control arm, this piece right here, the edge, will actually contact the back of the rotor and of course damage the ball joint housing and the rotor. So very important part of this upgrade is the late model lower control arms. These are fairly inexpensive, a couple $100 directly from Mercedes. The benefit too is you get brand new bushings and a brand new ball joint. So that should also improve how the car drives and performs. Here's the spindle that ties it all together. Here are the H&R Springs. You can see the factory spring is to the right, the H&R Springs to the left. Once installed, it'll be about 1.5 inches overall suspension drop, running a number 1 rubber pad in the front, number 3 in the back. And here are the rear springs still in the box. They'll go in here and install in a few hours. And also on the garage floor, you can see the factory struts. And then just above that, the Bilstein B4s. In the middle is the brand new one for the front right, which I'll zoom in there. Those are the rears. That'll go in here in a few hours. And here are the factory front struts that are 20 years old. So certainly have done their duty for quite some time, and they've certainly lost a lot of their performance over the years. So glad to install new struts all around with the springs. On the car, this is what it looks like. I went ahead and also installed brand new stainless steel braided lines, the red line, as you can see. That was a bit difficult to remove the old one, but finally got it out. There's a new Bilstein B4 strut, the silver arrow 4-piston Brembo caliper with a 335 millimeter rotor. And lastly, there is the late model, again model year 2000 to 2002, lower control arm, and you can get an idea of how close the the space is there. Maybe you cannot see that, but anyway, there we have it. So stay tuned, and I will shoot some more video of the car once the suspension upgrade is all finished and the car is back on its tires and the suspension settled, and that way you'll get an idea of the after. So stay tuned. Thanks.